WFYI podcasts are made possible by Bloomington, Indiana, an American college town offering experiences like indulging in grub at Nick's English Hut, taking a stroll along Kirkwood Avenue, feeling the history and magic of Assembly Hall, and providing the chance to feel like a college kid again. Plan your trip at visitbloomington.com.
WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Indianapolis Shakespeare Company, presenting Riverside, a play by M.L. Roberts, July 18th to the 27th at Taggart Memorial Amphitheater. More at indieshakes.com.
This is WFYI News Now. It's July 12th, and I'm Abriana Herman. On today's show, Attorney General Todd Rokita sues East Chicago, $700,000 for youth apprenticeship programs, and evidence that Indiana police may have targeted two IU student protest leaders for arrest during pro-Palestine protests in April.
As soon as we go 10 minutes, those two are immediate.
Okay, is that the guy with the goggles right there, and then the bullhorn guy, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Those stories coming up. But first, a listener wanted to know if there was an outbreak of Lyme disease in Indiana this year. Indiana Public Broadcasting's Rebecca Thiel reports we're not seeing a spike in tick-borne illnesses this year, but experts say they've been increasing over the past 2 decades.
Lee Green is the Indiana Department of Health senior medical entomologist. He says we're seeing more ticks as their habitat and food sources grow. The black-legged or deer tick, for example, is now found in every county in the state and can transmit Lyme disease.
So those ticks like wooded areas, and they seem to increase with deer populations.
As we develop land, people also come in contact with ticks more often. Tick experts at Purdue say climate change could also create a better environment for ticks, more of the warm, humid weather when ticks are most active. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Rebecca Thiel.
Experts say the best way to protect yourself from ticks is to avoid wooded or grassy areas, use bug spray with DEET, and do thorough tick checks often. And Attorney General Todd Rokita is suing East Chicago, arguing the Northwest Indiana community is violating the state's ban on sanctuary cities. Indiana Public Broadcasting's Brandon Smith reports on Rokita's first use of new authority given to his office this year.
An Indiana law from 2011 bans local governments from restricting communication or cooperation with federal officials when it comes to information about citizenship or immigration status. A 2017 East Chicago ordinance directed city officials and law enforcement not to share information with federal immigration authorities like a person's immigration status, work location, or contact information. A group of citizens sued the city years ago, challenging the ordinance, but the Indiana Supreme Court ruled those citizens couldn't prove they were harmed by the measure. That's why this year, Republican lawmakers authorized the Attorney General to enforce the sanctuary cities ban, prompting Rokita's suit against East Chicago. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Brandon Smith at the State House.
4 career and technical education centers around Indiana will split $700,000 to pilot local youth apprenticeship programs. Indiana Public Broadcasting's Kirsten Adair reports the grant, awarded by Ascend Indiana, will fund apprenticeships in healthcare, IT, advanced manufacturing, and business.
The 4 locations will receive $175,000 each and will serve students in 29 counties. All 4 sites plan to focus heavily on healthcare apprenticeships. Ascend Indiana says youth apprentices often receive training, mentorship, and industry credentials or post-secondary credits. Larry Fusler is the Assistant Director of Talent Development at the Southern Indiana Education Center. He says the goal is for students to have careers, not just jobs.
They're able to really come in at an entry level at a hospital or a senior care center or clinic, and they're able to advance their career through additional certifications and education.
Ascend Indiana says more than 500 students and 90 employers statewide have participated in youth apprenticeship programs so far. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Kirsten Adair.
And for our final story today, police targeted 2 Indiana University student protest leaders for arrest ahead of time, according to Indiana State Police radio chatter and body camera footage. WFIU's Ethan Sandweiss has more.
State police arrested Bryce Green, a doctoral student, and Aiden Camise, an undergraduate, on April 27th, the second day of mass arrests at pro-Gaza protests on campus. The two men have been active in pro-Palestine groups, leading chants and rallying demonstrators. Police say their goals were to maintain safety and enforce IU's no tents policy, but conversations in body camera video made clear that police intended to arrest Green and Camise that Saturday.
As soon as we go 10 minutes, those two are immediate.
Okay, is that the guy with the goggles right there? And then the bullhorn guy, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Radio recordings also show police officers monitor the two from the overwatch position on top of the student union.
I do see your main actor, the black male with the afro, or check a dark blue shirt with a white scarf and black shorts. He's also your other main actor, the white subject. He's in a black shirt and blue jeans.
A case report from the IU Police Department says state police identified Green as an instigator and determined that he needed to be arrested for criminal trespass. The Monroe County Prosecutor's Office refused to file charges against him and Camise, as it did for all others arrested for trespassing at the protests. For WFYI News, I'm Ethan Sandweiss.
That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Drew Dodlin with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Our news director is Sarah Neal Estes. Kendall Antron produced our music, and I'm your host, Abriana Herron. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share. And follow WFYI on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thank you for listening. We'll be back on Monday.
WFYI podcasts are made possible by Bloomington, Indiana, an American college town offering experiences like indulging in grub at Nick's English Hut, taking a stroll along Kirkwood Avenue, feeling the history and magic of Assembly Hall, and providing the chance to feel like a college kid again. Plan your trip at visitbloomington.com.